Am I
Hi, Mark. It's Diane and Mark with Real Estate News and Views. And today we're going to look at a little bit about, are the inventory numbers going up because there's so many new builds and people are selling, like investors bought on speculation.
Yeah, we can only go back from 0 to 5 years. So we'll take a look at that. Yeah, I mean,
Like there's more inventory in the market. Like there's more houses available now and more condos available now.
through increased supply over, say, the last 5 years. Yeah, that's fair to say. It is, right? We've seen big subdivisions off of main arteries like Yonge Street. How many townhomes are in there? 600? Probably close.
In
Probably not
Mapleview,
far off.
yeah, the
Far off.
Mapleview.
Mapleview area going east, much better area, different buyer because they're, you know what I mean? They're not that cheap. Some paid a premium and I still see them selling in that area. I do. I do. Greer's a great street.
One on Phoenix just sold too.
Yeah, I saw that. So, some people like new. Some different cultures that come into the community want new. They don't want older homes. They want brand new.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes I think the buyer is leaving a lot on the table because sometimes they're sacrificing neighborhoods and area and location versus looking at the whole package and going, yeah, I like nice, brand new and fancy. Crappy backyard could be a crap area in the future, right? We know of some in the community versus an established area that has great school zones. Uh, Homes are 20 years old. Yes, they need some updating, or some have been updated, but the buyer makes a choice at the end of the day. So just be careful. If people are looking at that, just don't go all hands in to the wall here for new. I think a buyer should explore other areas.
Well, look what happened to the one YouTube call I got where he bought. I need to get like almost $1 million for him to get out of it, and it's a townhouse. But he didn't realize it was like 1.2, or it's just the exact limit of a school bus. So the kids have to walk, and it's a huge walk, and they got across Mapleview, and he didn't realize that when he bought it.
Well, you think you got to do your homework. People aren't doing enough of it. So, folks, do your homework. Just don't assume there's a school bus zone. If it's not within the school, if you're closer to it, then the kid's gonna walk, right? But that's just the way it is.
Well, and what you do, you can go on any school board and put in you put in the address and it tells you if you're bused, if you're walked, and how far it is away from the school your kid would attend.
Exactly. So, what else think we should cover in the video too is look at some inventory levels where we are right now. I wouldn't mind poking my nose around some price ranges that I see that are selling, and then I see some price ranges that are even pulling back more. So I wouldn't mind giving the viewer that. I wouldn't even mind. We always look at last year's, how we compare. What was the market at this time in 2023 compared to now?
We
Wouldn't
can
mind,
check that.
wouldn't mind poking my nose in a few of those, see where those transactions are a little bit, right? So it's to keep it a bit more interesting. But yeah, it's a tough game out there right now.
Yeah, so what I thought we could try to do, Mark, I'm sharing the screen here with people, and we're looking at the Barrie freehold.
Why don't
And
you, and then I'll just give it a little blurb and you can get set up. And then you can go through it. Sorry to cut you off, but I'm going to cut you off.
go
If
ahead.
it's this information, which I hope you do, it's honest. Definitely hit the subscribe button for our channels. And if anyone's looking for an evaluation or buyers thinking about moving up to our community, hit the links in the top of our description. We'd love to help you out. So, what are you looking at?
So I'm looking at the solds in the last 6 months. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to choose new or 0 to 5 years.
Go new first. I'm kind of curious to say new. Take out 0 to 5. Let's just do it one.
33?
Let's pull them up. Oh, shit. I can't.
Yeah,
We're not
can't.
allowed.
New.
A joke.
Well, I can kind of take a look at the price ranges. We can't pull up the listings, but they're going from 599 into the 1.1 million.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
But the other thing is the 0 to 5, the reason why I picked that mark too. So there's 33 new, but the 0 to 5, it could be the investor that held it for 6 months and rented it and is getting out of it.
Could be many things. People can't qualify maybe in that range. There's going to be, but it's just not. I don't want our viewers to think that everybody's in trouble again. Everybody's got to sell, and all these investors, ha ha ha, good on them. No,
They're
it's not.
making money.
It's just people sell for different reasons.
Yes.
So just don't. Everyone needs to jump on the bandwagon and think everyone's in a sinking ship.
So the 0 to 5, if once I add that, we have 95 sales,
Take out the new and to see. Uh, Take out. I'd rather go by range.
60 something.
962. Okay, so saying that, so again, we have lots of areas. We got Mapleview, we got Young. What else do we got that's seen the subdivisions?
Ardaw has some.
Not many though. What's closed up there?
No, Sean Holmes built a couple different developments in there.
Off of Essa.
Essa and Veterans.
Yeah,
That's still Ardaw though.
yeah. That's it. So again, I'd be curious. Again, we're going to see some of those ones up in Mapleview East as well, in the shore area as well, probably in that group.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So I wanted to just check. So say between new and 0 to 5, we're at 90, 95. What are our sales?
We don't got tunes yet.
No. So
Still,
as a percentage, it's a low percentage though,
oh, it still is.
right?
If we base it off the inventory of 1,105, which we're probably in that range, again, it's normal, right? So it's 8%, 8.5% of that. So from new to zero, from 0 to 5 years, 8% of the inventory. And that's, there's not a lot of building going on in a
So,
sense, right?
right. And for the 16 to 30 year range, we have 236.
Which, right? That's the more of the realistic of the community of massive subdivisions in Southeast, Southwest Barrie
Yeah.
over
Well,
the
I
last
want to see
5 years,
31 to 50. We
right?
go down to 137.
Yeah.
So the 16 to 30 range is the range that's doing the most. But the newer and 0 to 5, 95 is still like those are 95 houses that, like you said, in 2023 weren't there.
100%.
We should
100%,
try that.
right?
So what if I went up here and put sold 0, 0, 2023 to 06, 23, 2023.
What are you going to put in there
I'm
for?
going to try to put new.
All right.
So between new and 0 to 5, we had 95 last time. Oh, more, 146.
So you got subdivisions that we didn't talk about over in Bear Creek Ridge.
Yes.
There's a lot over there. And that subdivision is exactly 5 years old, right?
Yeah, and a lot of them were Frank's
Way,
South and the
Fairline,
Turnberries, all those ones in the South End too. Look at them all.
off of Young,
Brown Bear, Fairlane, those
right?
two big developments.
Yep. 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 So that's the thing, right? So it's gonna see that, right? And inventories are up double digits, probably 27, 28% over last year,
So
right?
Mark, yes, under out of that 146, 83 were townhouses.
Yeah. But look at the Fairline and Turnberry areas. Brown Bear area has some, and Adelaide or Ardene has a bunch too. but the majority of them would be over there, right? You would
Yeah.
see some, even Rochester and Greer weren't done at that time in Southeast Barrie, um, at
So
all.
this year we're down to 43, so it's half
Yeah,
in townhouses.
yeah, and it should be.
Yeah. Well, so the fact that the new inventory came up on the market and we had a bunch of developments finish, we don't see like the sales didn't reflect that, if you know what I'm saying. The
What,
sales didn't double, or there was actually more sales in 2023 than now, way more.
wow, but a lot of those subdivisions were completed too, right? Back in Brown Bear 2020. And it's not everybody, oh, great. In that, so if you bought in that area and you sold in 2023, you made some good money.
Yeah.
You bought it 3 years prior. I was one
Yeah.
of them. I think I paid 511, 512 for my town, right? And we knew what happened in 2023, what happened. Things came down, but I made some good money on that property. But, it just worked out from COVID really gave the big boost.
Yeah.
Let's So it was that time frame. So, people that are buying now, need to keep, have a perspective, right? And don't I wouldn't be a speculator today and say, great, 3 years great, I'm going to sell. I wouldn't do that. No friggin' way would I be doing that today. If I was saying I want to live in that area and that's where I want to be, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
But as a speculator, I'm not in. Too much uncertainty, just too much. Um, why don't you take a look maybe at what some sales were at 2023, say from January till June, and see where they are now. And we can go by detached, town, whatever. I'd be curious. I'm kind of curious to see.
Okay. So
We keep talking about last year. I think we should look a little bit a year prior. Sentiment was a lot different, right? Things were different.
so from January 1st to June 23rd, 2023, Simcoe Barrie 826 freehold.
Okay, so let's go see where we are now.
Okay.
I'm gonna write that down. 820. So I'll remember
Yeah,
820.
write it down. Oh no, sorry, that was this year. Sorry,
Oh,
2025. I did
oh,
2025 first.
okay, whatever. Okay,
You got the number, right?
826.
Oh, 1752.
There you go. That's why I wanted to go back 1 year, right?
Holy
I wanted to go
shit.
back another year to see what the market was doing back in 2023 compared to where it is today at the same
Okay,
time.
okay,
Look at
Mark,
the
write this down. So write down 826 this year. 2023 was 1752. And we're
so
going to try 2024 too.
it's 52% less transactions.
Holy cripes.
That's beep, beep, beep. Massive, right?
1,034 last year.
Okay. So leave that number up. 1,034, 17, 718. 40%.
So it was 1752. Then it went down to 1,034 and then
Yep.
826.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So this is Barrie freehold sales almost the first 6 months.
Uh-huh.
Now, last year, all the reports were saying it was the worst year in
20.
25 years.
Yeah, well, now it's going to be 26 years. It's gutter, right? It's the gutter. And you know what? What blows me away is that is these feds keep, and I'm not saying drop rates, I'm not saying nothing like that, but I really think something needs to be done. And when, yes, we hear of all the housing starts and how long it takes and all this, you know what the GDP counts in the Canadian economy for real estate? 12%.
Jesus.
That's a massive number. And everybody's okay with letting it sink to the bottom? I don't get that part.
Well, you know what I don't get either? We have to make home ownership affordable, Mark. We have to this, we have
Hey,
to that, but they're doing absolutely nothing
just
to help that. Nothing.
they're not. They're not.
No.
The solution is build cheaper homes. Okay, I agree.
Yeah, and Mattamy Homes now, the guy that founded Mattamy, I sent you that article.
Yeah.
He's now going to put in a plant to do those prefab houses.
Depending on the location of this, it could work. But if you think you're going to put prefab homes in expensive real estate areas and markets for land, it is not going to work. It
Oh,
is not
Mark, you
going
know
to.
what 2022 was?
Yeah,
1969.
there you go. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
So we've just been steadily dropping.
100%. We know why. Why don't we just do this? Why don't we just go, hey, first time buyer, or no? How about get rid of our stress test? Get rid of the qualifying at 2%. Big jump. Big jump for
I
people.
know.
That I don't understand. We don't understand that whatsoever. We have industries that depend on this real estate business in this country, and it is falling to the shitters.
Well, you know another thing, Mark? If you have an insured mortgage with CMHC, so if you're under 20%, you have to get an insured mortgage through CMHC. So CMHC is insuring that mortgage, right?
Right.
Why does there need to be a stress test at all?
I disagree.
The mortgage is insured.
Nothing needs to change. Keep the total debt servicing the way it is. Keep all the same apples the same way. Get rid of this qualifying. Do I think it's good to have it in a market that we just came out of in a COVID market? Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah, because it was so low.
It was so low. I do. Right? It just to protect the integrity of the market, protect people's well-being. Can they qualify? We know.
They're protecting the bank, Mark.
I know, but I think it's still good to safeguard the consumer as well.
Hmm.
Right? I think, hey, you know what? Don't go buy your new F-150. Just keep things the way they are because these rates are too good to be true. Right? I got calls back in 2021 or so, 20, maybe it's 2020. Anyway, no, it's 2022. I think you know the story. Wants to buy this house, top of the line, mortgage so cheap. Don't do it because the rates are gonna go up. Don't do it. What happens? Rates went up. We all know the spin-off from that. People are still, you know what I mean, renewing this year and next year. Are they going to qualify? Is some of that inventory on the market right now? Maybe.
I think a lot of it is, yeah. I've talked to people
Some,
where they're
some.
saying yeah, well, I don't think it's all that for
It's not.
sure,
It's not.
but
It's
I
not.
think there is some people, and I think that's why the prices are high because there's people that are going to renew soon, but they're not renewing yet. So let's put it out there and see if we can kind of get what we want. You know what I mean? They don't
Here's
seem
what I'd
like
like
they're
to
in a
do.
giant rush.
Here's what I'd like to do. Go to the listing appointment with those numbers that we just pulled out. What would the faces be on the sellers?
Well, you know what it is.
It's not going to be good. This is the reality, right?
Yeah,
Here's where we were in 2022. Here's where we were in 2023. Here's where we are in 2024. And here we are now. You're talking 70% drop in transactions since 2022. And we have an increase of inventory that's 28%
I know.
higher. Whoa, right?
Well, that's why, when you go, I told you that listing appointment where like they did not like what I was saying at all.
Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. They did you a favor. You don't want listings like that. Why would you want a listing like that?
I know.
It just doesn't make sense. I'd rather be upfront. We've talked about this 10 million times. It just doesn't make sense to take on something that you can't do.
Yeah, I know.
Do that. Are we?
Well, and you know what, Mark? If people kind of think And I kind of want to get rid of the myth that we're salesmen. Like we're almost in a commodity market where the market is going to dictate the price. It doesn't matter if I put balloons on the side of the road, Mark. It doesn't matter if someone walks in the door and I'm the nicest person at an open house and I'm kissing their butt. Like that isn't selling your house. The market's going to determine the price.
It always does. But with what's we're really different than buying a commodity on an open exchange.
Yes.
We're different. We don't operate in those principles.
No, we do not.
We don't. So seller sets the price. So seller sets the bid where it is. But looking at all our data that we go through week over week and day over day, it's telling us a different story that what's really actually happening on the open real estate market today in a sense of listings. Yes, we're seeing things still sell in our communities. Yes, we're seeing things take 25 to 28 days to sell. Seeing that. I saw a property that sold today, listed for 45 days. They got full list price. Oh, okay. Good for them. Happy, right?
Yeah.
45 days. So they waited out. Yeah. And it wasn't a stupid price, just didn't find the right buyer till then. That
Yeah.
that happens. But when we're seeing product on the market that is overpriced for it, no, buyers aren't going to look at that. They're not.
No,
Right.
that well, and that what I'm trying to say is that regardless, your real estate agent should be communicating with you. They should be getting a professional photographer. They should be now open houses don't sell houses, but you still want to do a couple. Give it a shot. People that are very interested in your house, make an appointment with a realtor. That's what they do.
They should just tell them what the market's doing, Dan.
Yeah. No, but what I'm trying to say is a lot of people will complain about their real estate agent, Mark, all the time because the house isn't selling and they fire them and then they hire somebody else and lower the price.
There's always a big abundance of sellers that are like that for sure. But the
Because
serious one,
the real estate agent didn't do a good job for the Mark.
or
I
didn't do
hear that all the time.
or yeah, but that's what we hear for sure. We hear it all the time. But that's just them passing the blame on to the real estate agents. The property wasn't set, the price wasn't set properly. We
Exactly.
didn't listen to the market. Did they communicate? And I'm sure they did. Let's just say they did. They did. Then try it. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And what I'm seeing now is this property on Gulfdale. It's a piece of garbage. Okay. So
Hey,
prospect,
that's funny. My client sent me that this morning.
they love the price, $399. I said, hang on a second. Don't get too excited on that. Let me pull the history and pull up a listing. I'm trying for 4 months. That's $649.
And there's a fee.
There's a fee. So this doesn't work when you list a property like that. Because I tell my guys at a budget of 550, don't even look at it. Let's just not go because it's probably they're not going to accept it. And I don't even think it's worth 550 in my mind.
Well,
I don't
the problem is even like he would have to get approved with that maintenance fee in there, and I think it's a high fee.
forget. I don't know if there's a fee or not, to be honest. I don't know on Gulfdale. I don't I thought it was a fee too when he texted out and I looked at it, I couldn't see anything on the listing. But I still don't love the area, and I just don't think the motivation behind that seller is going to be anything different than we're expecting a six in front of the offer. In that crappy area? Crazy?
I know.
Doesn't make any sense. So, I think there's a lot of good realtors out there that are showing the people the information. Maybe the people that are receiving the information just don't want to hear it and just think, well, let's try it. There's a property over on Penville. It's been trying to sell it for a year. Went through two agents. Every 2 months, I know it off by heart. I just see it coming on. Cancel relist, go down 10 grand. Right?
Well, and how many, and you've had a couple and I've had a couple messages or emails have we got? My agent wants me to drop the price and I don't want to.
Then don't.
No, but it's not that the agent isn't trying to get them to drop the price.
Yeah, that one I don't know the full story other than the comment, right? But that's
Well, no, Rob sent me that one last week too. Remember that I sent you?
okay. Well, there's a great example, 750 for a midtown. I don't think so.
And
This
they
market.
want him, and the agent wanted him to drop the price, and they didn't want to do it.
Not gonna sell. It's not gonna sell.
Well, that's the issue.
Right. When you see a townhome have a seven in front of it, it's probably in the new area in Greer and Rochester area. I'm not seeing too many townhomes have a seven in front of them right now. I don't. Right. And there's a
No, and Mark, I was looking because, you know, about the townhouses and how many sold. And in so active right now,
it's like 109, I think.
124.
Yeah.
Sold, and we know we can't even look at last year or other years because we know it's
No,
useless.
I know. There's no need to. Just take it out.
But say sold in the last 23 days, 17.
17. 17. So
And that usually, the reason why I want to look at that is usually people, that's like one of the hottest markets in the city.
yeah, and I really found that buyer retracted a lot. I'm not seeing the sales in these lower ranges. I'm just not. Where did they go?
Oh, that's another thing you wanted to look at. We'll check that out. You wanted to look like over a million.
I want to see because I've been seeing a lot of sales. Like I watch it and I'm kind of going, wonder what's, I wouldn't mind seeing where we are on a weekly basis for a week and then over
So,
or June.
okay, listen, between 1 million and 1.3, we have 15.
So far, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so between 1 and 2 million, we have 15. And last all month, let me move this little Dewey up and over. We had 16, but the month isn't over yet.
No, no, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see an increase in that higher range. And then we're gonna see a decrease in the 6 to 7 range. We're going to
900 to a million, 13,
13.
and we were at 12.
Right.
Yeah, so you're right. The higher ranges are looking
I know. I know. Is it a pullback from that buyer? Maybe. Maybe it is.
6 to 7. We're at 29.
Look where we are.
Oh, Jesus. We had 56 last month,
Almost half.
almost half.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I noticed that
Isn't
there
that odd though? Isn't it odd that
it
the
is.
higher prices are selling and the lower aren't?
It is, but a different type of buyer.
It is
Totally different.
totally different.
Yeah, it's bizarre, but I noticed it too. I think that's good. I think we covered off some inventory ranges. I think we did a good job on where the sales were in 2023, which is a big shocker because you haven't really gone back and looked at that. So now we'll be paying more attention when we start seeing the transactions are off 70% compared to where they were in 2023. That's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable, and it also kind of tells you where real estate agents are, why they're getting listings and taking anything.
Well, that doesn't solve the problem though,
Oh, it's not solving the problem,
right? Like
but
that's just telling me you're taking it because you got nothing better to do. I got lots of things to do rather than upload listings and paperwork and do open houses if I know the property's very much inflated and we have a seller that's just not a motivated seller.
well, it's not only that, Mark, it costs us money.
Well, ask for it back. Agents are taking this, ask for it, put it in the contract. Okay, if this doesn't sell in the listing period, then you agree to refund me for some time and refund me for my photos and videos and whatever I do marketing. I would, because it's costly,
It
right?
is costly.
This market, we have enough, there's enough, you just put it on your fingertips in 3 seconds to find out information. It's right there. We pull all kinds of data for month over month, week over week, year over year. We have it all. But you look what we found in 3 seconds. So let's go back to a year. Let's go back to 2023. It's all right there. So people should be taking that as serious data and going, okay, wow, you're right. Maybe we shouldn't list at this price, or maybe we should hold off on listing. Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hold off. If you're expecting a certain dollar. Do we see it getting better in time? 100%. This market's shit now, but it's not going to remain shit forever.
No, it never does.
Never does.
No,
It's just the times that we're in, and I really think it's what's going on is really spooking a lot of people. They're
it
holding
is.
back, especially in lower ranges. Okay,
All right.
see ya.
See ya.